like the biggest obstacle for me has been insecurities, because we're in the public eye so much and there's pictures being taken of us. You have to realize it's about the art, not so much about what you look like.
Did you have a moment where it clicked for you, like, okay, I'm not gonna worry about this anymore?
I noticed that I'm not the only one that's going through these things,
Right.
and I see these celebrities that are just unbelievably perfect looking every day, and then there's like one picture out there that people nitpick.
I think the more that you're having your picture taken and the more that you're kind of obsessing over how you look and you're getting your hair and makeup done, the more you're aware of your physical self. And I think that it eats people up, you know?
You know, you do a music video and you watch it and overanalyze and all this.
So if we have an ugly day, we can't just lay in bed and stay at home. You know, we have to go out there and do our jobs, and people rely on us. So, you know, it's a responsibility, and we all look good, right? We're doing okay.
I don't know if I'm living the dream that I actually was dreaming as a kid. Acting was always kind of my passion. Where I'm at right now and the fact that I'm DJing and traveling around the world, you never know where one thing is going to take you and where you're going to end up.
Since I was 4 years old, I knew what I wanted to do, and I'm not living my dream per se, but I feel like half the fun is the journey to getting to that point. And if we were like, I just want to get there, we miss the things that define us. So if we miss that, then we will never know who we actually are.
When I was a kid, I never let insecurities bug me. And then I think when I hit my early 20s, I started thinking. Like, I started noticing the lights in the people, and it started messing with loving being a performer. My journey has been trying to remember how I felt as a kid performing.
I feel like that too. That's interesting to say. I moved to New York when I was 18 by myself and just working a lot of side jobs. And so I think when you get signed, it's a cool moment to say, okay, this can support me. That's what keeps me going as well, because a lot of people doubt whether you can make a career out of it.
Yeah, the opportunities present themselves. Things like endorsements and charity work and just everything that builds your brand can eventually create a lifelong career for you.
A lot of people you went to high school with are, you know, getting married and having babies, and you sacrifice because it is unstable and it takes a while to get to a point where you're actually, you know where your next check's coming from.
I never went to college, and I play college shows sometimes, and I go on these campuses and I just think, this is a gap of my life that I missed, that I never experienced. Yeah, and I'm like, and I'm not mad at it. I feel like my college years were when I was 18 and I went on tour with my old band. It's just weird, the things we miss out on and then the things that we get to experience that other people don't. So
It not being such a conventional path is what drives creative people. I mean, I can't imagine going into an office, having to be there at 9 a.m, having to look at the same window every day. Just the whole journey of it all and not knowing is quite exciting.
It's like, okay, I should be going to college. Your best learning experience will be getting signed. Like, that's your college diploma or whatever. Which is not a bad college diploma to have.
It's ironic that I'm an epileptic DJ. The fact that I've chosen the most probably inappropriate profession that you can possibly go for. Sometimes I get to a gig and they seem to think it's really cool that they want to have strobe lighting. I always try and tell people that I think strobe lighting, not a lot of people enjoy them.
yeah, I look away.
I feel a little nauseous.
Yeah.
That is something that for me is so much more challenging than I guess anyone realizes. And for a long time I didn't tell people that I had it. I think it's hard for anyone that has an illness to come forth and say that they suffer from something. I really want to be a voice for it because I think that raising awareness to something like epilepsy is so key because, you see people fall down on the street and people presume that they're overdosing on drugs. Also just being able to use whatever I've created and just educating people on different things. I'm sure there's a million other people out there that also do and think that they can't get a normal job. And I think that it's just nice to be able to say that you can do whatever you want to do.
My parents divorced when I was 11, and I talked about it on The Voice, and they reached out to my dad because they wanted me and my dad to have our reunion on camera. And it threw me for such a loop because I picked up my phone after we were shooting and I saw that he called me, and I heard his voice for the first time in a year on my voicemail box, and I was dealing with all of the pressures of the show and all of that, and then at the same time I'm just hearing from my dad. After addressing on the show that him and I were fine, there was this article that came out that said it was all a lie, and my dad and I were fine the whole time, and it was just to get votes. It was the first time I really ever felt betrayed and violated. I opened myself up to help other people that have been going through that, and I got a lot of fans saying, wow, I've been through that same situation, and then this article came out. That was an interesting moment for me where I stepped back and I just said, okay, this is gonna happen and I can't let it get to me.
When you look at it as having ambition is like being curious, like I wonder what it would feel like to get around the next bend, or you know, that has helped me focus my ambitions more, and it makes it more fun.
I also can look at ambitions in a negative way, and I think there's a point when someone can be a little too ambitious. I can think back on moments that I chose to do something with work over something to do with family, and they'll still eat at me. You know, it's that like fine line of like what's right and what's wrong, and how much do I want it, and how much should I have said no to that job? I mean, that was like a big job, or should I have got done, you know, what's the right thing?
I'm a bridesmaid in my best friend's wedding next summer, and I'm already freaking out about like, please don't let that be the biggest show or opportunity, and then you're like, oh, what do I do?
When I think about getting married, I think about being content with where I am in my career. If I were to think about getting married right now, I would lose it because there's so much I need to do with my music and getting that on track, because I haven't had that moment yet where it's like, oh, I made it.
I've been dating someone for 7 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think to be in a relationship with this career, you have to have someone that gets that your career is your first love. They have to be okay with the fact that you're gonna choose to do that gig because they love you so much, they wanna see you loving that moment. It's definitely a balance of trying to figure out, okay, now I need to find time to give this person what they're giving you.
My last relationship was 5 years, and I was with someone that was extremely ambitious. His drive rubbed off on me, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Not being able to plan things sometimes. You get a show last minute or you have to fly somewhere, whether a lover or your family, that you're like, oh, sorry, I can't, you know, I gotta go. So having someone that understands that can bounce back.
My climb has been very unexpected. I thought that I would just walk into a record label and play my songs acoustic and then I'd get signed, and that was that. But instead, life took me on this roller coaster ride and I ended up on The Voice, which I never thought I would be here because of a show like The Voice, but it was just me being open-minded and taking every opportunity that came my way.
You think you're about to reach a point and then something happens that makes you go down into the valley again.
Yeah, you think that there's this moment that you're gonna always get to, and the truth is when you get to this moment that you thought, try to get to the next one, always want more and more. And I'm trying to learn to be okay in the journey that I'm at.
It's appreciating the ups and downs and trying to learn from those experiences.
My climb is consistently challenging, and just being able to take time for yourself, whether that be yoga, meditation, going on a long run, a walk in the country, reading a book, just those times are really, really key to keep a healthy mind and a healthy balance with everything.
Bye.